Hello and welcome to a brand new Player 2 Plays. My name is Paul James and today we are playing Badland, a game that was initially released on mobile platforms several years ago now and has actually been on the consoles for another year or two as well. I was particularly taken by the game when it first released on mobile platforms, specifically iOS. It's a simple auto runner, or in this case auto flyer, and you're just guiding your way through some simple platforming levels that do get increasingly hard, but it's just one that was like it aesthetically really was quite pleasing, looked quite good. All I'm doing here literally is pressing or holding the X button and releasing as is required. But I can still steer with the left stick. So there's just enough control there to get me through. Here we go, here's our first little challenge. And much of this game is about just getting your timing right and avoiding those environmental obstacles that are always out to get you. But you are often carried through the environment on your way to the end. Now your little bird thing that you would have seen there is like a clone of sorts, so they come back easily, frequently. They can in fact, as you progress through the game, kind of split up into more, which kind of ups the challenge somewhat. But there's also little things you can pick up that make you a lot bigger too, so you can kind of crash your way through larger obstacles. Or make yourself much smaller and fit through tiny little gaps, such as that one. Oh. Yep, I forgot to go get those two at the top. No. Oh, got through. You'll always have a degree of forward momentum there, so you can kind of shove your way through, as is currently the case. But sometimes size can work against you to an extent. What? Oh, it must have been another one that I missed then. Not too sure what to make of all that. And now I'll bounce my way through, try and do it. And try and do it quickly enough to ensure I get to the other side okay. I'm sure that one missing one won't come back to bite me in any way, shape or form. There's the end of the level, and we're through. And it's all fairly simple, and this is the version available on the consoles is the Game of the Year edition. This was actually awarded a lot of Game of the Year awards on mobile platforms in its year that it came out. So there we go, there's the first time I've been able to split. And keeping the two of them intact is important, but also sometimes one is necessary. In some cases, one is needed to die in order for you to progress. And there are awards attached to ensuring the survival of all your little clones. Get out of there before this boulder gets through. 3, 4. Oh, I'm losing him. Oh, must have lost him. Oh, we got to the end of the level with 1, which is not great, but we got through. So it's a fairly simple sort of affair. You can already see the challenge is starting to increase nice and early. For all that the genre is known to not exactly necessarily be the most challenging in the world, the speed with which we're playing here, poses plenty of challenges. And trying to stick some of those landings can be quite tough. Oh. But as you might also be seeing, checkpointing is fairly forgiving, which does help. You can very quickly learn from mistakes and seek to correct that. We'll keep making our way through, looking at some of the different kind of environmental obstacles and little skills and perks we can pick up as we go. See, this one here it's a bit more of a puzzle to find your way through. I screwed it up. Sometimes you've got to be prepared to let yourself fall and lose a bit of that momentum and collect your clones and continue progressing through. Like there's a bit here. It's a nice little group I've built up here. I always try, and look, it doesn't necessarily always... oh no, I don't think I should have gotten that. It doesn't always pay off, but I always try and have one. Like I try and focus my attention on just one of the little clones to make sure he or she gets through, as opposed to that larger group, which can get really quite cumbersome and unwieldy to manage. If I can keep them all together, great. But I'd rather focus my attention on the one that's left, in this case, and make sure it gets through in one piece, which still doesn't always happen. There we go. We got a couple through that time. Now I'm sure there's some trophy, or if it's Xbox achievement that I'm missing by not collecting enough of these guys through each level, but... Huh. Hit that bomb nice and quick. Make sure it goes off. Oh no, we've got a few at the top. Let's focus our attention on those at the top. And like that, all of my little clones are gone, save for one. You can hear the end. That is one of the great little audio cues there. You know you're pretty close to the end, you'll hear that hum from the little portal at the end. There's the other three gone, and I'm back to one again. Oh. See, sometimes it's not apparent where or what you should or shouldn't be collecting. I mean, by respawning it's put me where I need to be because I would have rolled past all those other little orbs there, but prior to that I would have had no clue. Oh. Alright, let's get going again. Brace yourself for the fact that you're always going to lose a few on every round. I'm not familiar with, and I certainly don't remember a scenario where I survived a round with every single clone that I found on the journey. And in a lot of cases it's almost designed so that that's not the case. Oh. And sometimes you make the wrong choice, such as that. Go the wrong way, and in doing so, kill yourself. Huh. I need to split a few. There we go. So that those who are left can get through. And see, that one by design, you're not supposed to get every clone through. Oh. Come on, how many can get through? 3? Yes, so far, 3 through. And so there's heaps and heaps of levels for you to progress through. It's very short, sharp, quick. You've seen so far, reload is fast. So there's, if you stuff up, no harm done. Everything's quite cleverly designed. and can also get a little bit frantic, such as that just there. Lumbering clones here, causing some grief. Well, one got ricocheted off the screen, but one remains, so that... Come on, where's the end of the level? I'm sure it can't be far before we hear it. There we go. And our first trophy has been popped. Now, this is the first time that I've actually played Badlands since I played it on the iOS. I bought it on PSN, yeah, it must be at least 2 years ago, I'm going to say, when it came out to PlayStation. But it's the first time I've actually gotten around to it, and I'm really glad, like, it instantly feels familiar, like I've been there and done it before. Because I have. But it's very pick up and play, even with PS4 controller now, as opposed to a touchscreen. Oh. Come on. Alright, here we go. Oh. Oh, I got a ton of them that time. That's awesome. So we'll complete another level or two. You're starting to see a few of the main features and main ideas. Here's a new one. Bit of momentum. Alright, we've got our ridiculous number of clones that Oh, I needed to get that little orb before we went in, the one that made them all, would have made them all smaller, I'm guessing. Ah, one tap of the X button too many. Cool, we're through. Going high. Ah, I let myself bounce back too far. So, they're fairly frequently introducing new mechanics, new ideas, new concepts, and you as the player need to be prepared to adjust to those changes fairly often, which is why I'm not going to get through this. Which is why you need to be able to be prepared to adjust fairly often. And I think it's one of the great strengths of this game is that it never gets repetitive, even though the concept remains the same constantly throughout. Keep going, keep going, keep going. harsh. It's also very, very physics driven, which can make things tricky at times, especially when the game perhaps doesn't behave the way you either want it or needed it to. Like a loss of momentum there. Oh. Oh, we're through easily this time. I'm not going to get through. There we go. After all that, 4 got through. Still got a fair few that time, which was good. We'll make this one the last level. Maybe I'm not supposed to get that one. Oh, after all that, just one. You can see the checkpointing in this particular level is not quite as generous. After all that, just 2. Okay, so that is Badland. Now, I will pause this here once this level resumes, wherever it puts me. Yeah, that was Badland. Now, the game is available for the PS4, the Xbox One, it's PC, it's available on mobile. That is where I first picked it up and kind of really got interested in this game. So please consider picking it up on any of those platforms. But if you enjoyed this, please consider liking, sharing, and subscribing to the channel. All those buttons down below here. Hit that notification bell, and you'll be alerted to every new video as it goes live on the YouTube channel. And that includes Patched, the Video Games Club, The Insider, Player 2 Plays, the Late Game Review, and much more. There's some awesome content there, so please make sure to go and check it out. For written content, please visit the website player2.net.au, where you'll find reviews, previews, opinion pieces, news, features, the Player 2 Writer's Draft, and heaps more. There's some awesome stuff there contributed by some of the best talent in Australia, so please make sure to go and check it out. We're also on Patreon, patreon.com/player2au, and consider throwing in a few dollars. At the lower tiers, you'll get early access to episodes such as this, such as Patched, such as The Insider, and at the higher tiers, you'll get exclusives of those shows, and at the top tier, you can join us in the monthly Player 2 podcast. Please, again, consider throwing in a few dollars and helping the Player 2 dream out. We'd really love for your support, and we'd love for you to join us in some way, shape, or form. For rolling updates, you can find me at PaulJamesP2 on Twitter. The website you can find at Player2AU on Twitter. And until next time, like I said before, that was Badland. Consider picking it up on whichever platform suits you best. It works across all of them. It's great. Thank you very much for watching. Cheers.